What in the world is happening with King County real estate? Whoa! All right, we got a couple of graphs to show you today. Not just one graph, two graphs today. I'm going to start with my favorite, supply and demand, the new supply, the air supply, the new supply coming in. Green, new supply, new listings added. Blue, demand, number of listings off the market. Look at that. Look at that. Yes, what are you looking at? All right, so in King County, we have had 4 months with over 3,000 new properties listed. 4 months in a row of more than 3,000 new houses to market. That's a lot of fucking inventory coming to market. I mean, yes, it's down, but just slightly. Look at normal years or other years in the past where it just falls off the table. This is a lot of listings, and buyers are down percentage-wise more than the listings. So you wind up with, second graph time. Watch this. Watch the magic of this. This is what you wind up with in Seattle, King County, which, let's face it, is mostly just whatever Seattle does. All right. It's not so magical now that I have to wait for it. Sort of. Oh, you're killing me, Smalls. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Up and to the right. Holy shit. This is a hard time to sell a house in King County. I mean, that's a crazy graph. Buying is down. Inventory is up. If you're a buyer, you should be so happy. I mean, interest rates are what they are, but they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. And you have more houses to choose from and more old listings to choose from and more sellers that are going to be desperate, more sellers that don't heed my advice and say, okay, well, what will the market bear? Because houses are going off the market in 3 or 4 days if you price it right. If you price it like it was, 2025, you're going to be sitting with it like this. That is a ton of current inventory. 5,400 current listings. Only 1,500 went off in July. It's a lot of inventory. More and more and more and more and more. Okay, so that's the conclusion. If you're selling, you got to be realistic. You got to know this is the hardest time to sell in the last 2 years. In fact, if we went out, can I show you more than 2 graphs in a session? Yeah, let's see. If we go out 10 years, this is pre-pandemic for those of you that remember the pre-times. You'll see this is the hardest time to sell in Seattle in the last 10 years. I've already looked at it, so I know what's coming. And the best time to buy. So people say, how's the market to me all the time? And it really is depend. Look at that. That's the hardest time to sell. Fewest buyers, most inventory. It's not just a good idea. It's the law. Okay. There you go. That is what it is in King County. So hardest time to sell, easiest time to buy. Tell me your situation and let's figure out how to maximize the opportunity for you, because every neighborhood is different. Every price point is different. It's what I just said is a 10,000 foot overview, but it's worth it. It's a requirement that we do a deep dive on your situation. So don't be a stranger. Give me a call. Aaron Hendon with Christine and Company, eXp Realty. Party on, Wayne. Hey, what in the world's happening with Kitsap County real estate? Well, let's check it out. If you watch King County, you can see this is different. That there's not as much inventory, right? So this is more inventory. So you're looking at supply and demand. Green is inventory. New listings came to market. Who tried to sell? Blue. Who bought? How many people sold? How many people wanted to sell? How many people bought? Okay. There's still more listings than buyers, which is typical, but it looks a lot like last year and the year before. Not the case in King County. Here, this is a fairly stable market. It's definitely been harder to sell in times in the past. This is about the same as it was last year. A little bit harder to sell. There's a little bit more new listings to the buyers, but the buyers are fairly steady. They're fairly close. to the number of new listings, that this is a much closer to a balanced market where if you price it right, you'll get it sold in a reasonable amount of time, 2 weeks, like that, maybe a little longer. If you price it wrong, you're going to get punished. If you're buying and you see a deal, you should move on it. If you're buying, you should look for houses that have been sitting, because if we look at the number of active listings in this situation, we'll see there's a lot of active listings available to choose from. See, up and to the right, more and more listings every month, right, have remained on the market. So it's definitely going to be more difficult to sell than it is to buy. Buyers now have the upper hand. Now, every neighborhood is different. Every price point is different. It really depends a lot on your situation. So don't hesitate to reach out and talk to me, and Kitsap County in particular, from Bainbridge to the, out further closer to the peninsula, all those really are radically different. So 10,000 foot overviews, good to give you directionality. Pricing and buying in your situation require a separate consultation. So call me. Aaron Hendon, Christine and Company at EXP. Party on, Wayne. See you next month. What in the world is happening with Pierce County real estate? Check it out. Supply and demand graph. This is an interesting one because we're going to look at two graphs here like we did so far. So green is the supply, new listings. Who wants to sell their house? And blue is the pending, who bought a house, how many of each. Okay, and you can see that we've got a really steady 4 months here of about 1,500 plus houses every month in Pierce County, right? That's significantly more. Now, it got as high last year, but look at the sustained listings. That's a lot of extra listings on the market because buyers are slowly trickling off. They've already met their match in May, and they've been declining since May. This is a lot of extra inventory in Pierce County, and that winds up looking like this. I'm going to show you the second graph. You're going to see how built up that is. That is a lot. That's almost 3,000 available units in Pierce County. So if you're selling, you need to slow down and price it like it's this year, not like it's 2024. You just can't expect to get what you could have gotten 5 years ago for your house today. It's not going to happen. There's too many choices for buyers to have. And if you're buying, you got too many choices, my friends. You should be out there shopping. You should be haggling. You should be negotiating. You should be hammering on sellers that didn't listen to their agents the first time, that wound up overpricing, that are sitting there for 30, 60, 90 days. These houses that came on in, was this April are still sitting there. You got bargains to get. This is a good year to be a buyer. Now, every neighborhood is different. Every price point is different. Every area is different. Pierce County is a wide variety from downtown Tacoma to out in Puyallup, down lots of different places. Okay, so don't assume this means something for you without you talking to me. Let's look at your situation. Aaron Hendon, Christine and Company at EXP. Party on, Wayne. Talk to you soon. Hey, what in the world is happening with Snohomish County real estate? Check it out. All right, this is a slightly different supply and demand graph than I usually start with, but it was up on my screen and it tells the story. Green is the supply, available homes to buy. Blue, demand. Supply going up, demand going down. Sing it with me, people. It's not just a good idea. It's the law. This is what happens, okay? You are going to sell your house for less money than you would have last winter, okay? You just are. That previous in 2025, look how close demand was to supply in 2024. Look how far supply is from demand in 2026. That's price. That's going to impact price. Just is. If you're buying, you have deals to be made. You have these homes that came on the market in April that some of them are still on the market now. Those people should be negotiated with to get their house at a better price. If you look at the standard, or what is standard for me, for the number of new listings that came to market any given month, you'll see why that's the case. Because for 4 months running, we hit 1,200, almost 1,200 or better. And for 5 months, it's been over 1,000. For 5 months in a row, it's been over 1,000 new listings every month added to the market in Snohomish. There is no month, there's no year in any history that we get that many listings coming to market in that short period of time. That is flipping to a buyer's market. Now, every home is different. Every price point is different. Don't take this to mean something about your house without consulting me, because everything, requires, you're not selling a house in Snohomish. You're selling this house. You're not to buy a house. You're out to buy that house. That house has a story. That house has a different value. You want to investigate all that. You got questions? Let's work it out together. Aaron Hendon with Christine and Company at eXp Realty. Party on, Wayne. What in the world's happening with Vashon Real Estate? Well, let's check it out. I love Vashon. It's so weird. It is so weird. So you're looking at the supply and demand graph for Vashon. Green is the supply, new listings. Blue is the demand, number of buyers. And I do these for all 5 counties. If you're watching this, there's a good chance you've already seen the other counties in front of it. And I just do Vashon because I live here and I like selling here. But it's always so weird because it doesn't match the surrounding areas. It doesn't match Pierce, Kitsap, or Seattle, or King. It doesn't match the counties. It's weird. So new listings just dropped off the map last month. We went from almost 30, right? 28, 30, over 30 for 3 months in a row. Boom, down to 15. But look at that. Buyers went off a cliff. There were only 6 houses sold. Just put the brakes on buying and selling on Vashon last month. So what's next month going to do? Who the fuck knows? Really, it could be anything on Vashon. There is no predictability in this. There's nothing about this that would leave me with any confidence to think any one thing is going to happen in the future. Okay, if we look at this graph, which is the overall number of listings that are available, you can see it's been growing every month for the past 5 months. Normally, we peak and go down, right? This is July last year. So we'll probably go down this year. That would be a predictable phenomenon. But look at the teeny 6 buyers against 48 listings on Vashon in July. There were 48 with only 6 buyers. So what does that tell you? Well, if you're selling, do not get over aggressive with price. Now, every price point on Vashon is super sensitive, and each area, the north end to Tahlequah, very different markets. You sell it on Manzanita, it's one thing. You sell it in Stockton, it's another. You sell it in Burton, it's a whole other. So every area has a difference. Every house is a unicorn on Vashon. Every house needs a private consultation for. But overall, 48 listings with 6 buyers. If you're selling, I would be very, very, very conservative with my expectations about what I was going to get for my property. And the higher the price point, the more I would temper those expectations. And if you're buying, start those engines, folks. You got choices. You got places to look at. You got negotiations to be had, because I promise you, some of these people that went on over here in March are still on the market here in July, and they can be negotiated with. So you got questions. I got consultative time. All right, let's talk about your situation, see what we can do. Aaron Hendon with Christine and Company at eXp. Party on, Wayne.